Hey, I hope you had no problem getting here. I mean, no engine trouble, or getting stopped, traffic jam, or some cop following you along the way? Well, it happened to me and some friends of mine. Was it a cop following us? Or some stranger we didn't know and never seen before that was stalking us? Well, stick around. You'll soon find out. Get out of the way, Sunday driver. Oh, yeah, you're number one, too. Oh, where did you get your license? A correspondence school? Oh, hi. I was just having a little fun. Doing a rendition of just a moderate day on the road, so to speak. Oh, come on. We've all had them. If you drive, you know what it's like. It can be a rat race out there. Pretty mind-boggling of how many nuts or people that we're up against when we're on the road. I mean, and also the obstacles that are just out there as well, such as detours, dead ends, freeways, road work, collisions that we're held up in. And I was once held up for so long. I mean, I could have had a tailgate party and hired a band to boot. But you know something? Sometimes when we even have those bad days on the road, so to speak, we can laugh about it sometimes and be grateful that we're still around to tell about them. I mean, the other evening, I was with a few friends of mine, and we had a few laughs just telling the stories of our experiences on the road. Do you care to hear any of them, so to speak? You do? Well, I knew you would. Well, first let's start with mine, if you don't mind, okay? I had the first turn. So I'll never forget this one. Short, not sweet. I'm driving along and I'm in the slow lane. Of course, slow lane, mid lane, fast lane. And I've got my lunch with me, a Big Mac and a nice big thick vanilla shake. Driving along peacefully, obeying the law, going the speed limit, and in comes this driver, swerves me right off the road, in comes right from the mid, right to the slow lane. I'm on the grass. And of course, I'm on the grass, and I'm saying, what the heck is going on here? And I'm also glad the fact that there was no metal bridge there, fencing. I would have hit it, definitely. So I'm still keeping the speed. I'm still keeping the pace. And then I just swerve myself right back onto the road again. Phew. And I'm keeping up the pace with this driver. Okay? Nothing personal. It was a lady driver. When I looked to my side, she even had her window open. And I see her looking forward, and she's got this big smile on her face, which could mean just two things. She was unaware of it, and she's just listening to some tunes, completely unknown to what she just devilishly did, or she knew what she did, she got away with it, and satisfaction. Yeah, well, I didn't have time to analyze this at the moment. I was just going on by enraged instinct. So I went right up to her, seen that her window was open, looked at that smile, grabbed my vanilla shake, and threw it out my window to hit her right in the face. But it didn't, no. The wind had taken it, of course, and leaving me, of course, with a burger, but completely vanilla shakeless. So sad. But anyway, like I said, that's only one of a zillion. I'll tell you the other zillion the next time that we're together. But actually, this brings along what my friend actually went through one late evening. But let me start out by asking you this. Were you ever driving on the road late at night and you're alone? You're heading home, or even worse off, you're lost and you don't know where your way home. There are no street lights, nothing, but immediately comes up behind you these high beams, these intimidating, volatile, monstrous high beams. You see in the rearview mirror, you turn the mirror, but you still know it's behind you. Now, it doesn't happen to everybody, but our imagination starts really building up from this. Imagination is to say, what's going on here? Why is this cop on my tail? It's got to be one. And why is he flashing his lights? Why aren't I being pulled over right now? Maybe it's not a cop. Maybe it's a serial killer. One that won't let me go. But if it is a cop, he's still following me, not pulling me over, so it's got to be some sort of conspiracy for something I'm not doing now, because I'm not speeding, I'm not breaking the law. But what did I do recently? What did I do? Because he's on my tail. Maybe he's going to be gathering a few other authorities, and they'll all corner me. But one thing is for certain, is that he's been on my tail now for at least 3 whole minutes, and he's not going to let me go. Diabolic, isn't it? Well, there was one evening quite similar to that, where that imagination went wild with a friend of mine and a few buddies of his, years before I knew him. Now, I'm not going to mention any names or whatnot, but I'll just do my best to reenact the 4 guys that were in this car traveling, going nowhere because they lost their way from a party they went to. And it's about 10 at night, so it's pitch dark. And they had taken 3 turns. And one thing they subconsciously knew that they didn't before really aware of, that is that somebody has been following them with their high beams on. They're finally aware of it from that 3rd turn they had taken and 10 minutes during it. So after 10 minutes on this main road, they're becoming aware, saying, hey, this guy has been on our tail for over 20 minutes now. What is going on? It's got to be a cop. The other says, why? What did we do? And he goes, well, they usually follow people like that they know are speeding before they pull them over. The guy says, but we're not speeding. What are you talking about? Well, I don't know why he's following us for. Did you guys do anything recently? Maybe he's just getting our plates and then he's going to pull us over. So they're just racing with emotion. But they just want to ditch him. That's all. So they go on and they take a left onto another main road, a long road. What happens? Of course, the high beams turn with them and right behind them. Just as intimidating as ever, and intimidated as ever, these guys are traveling on the road with the car right in back of them. They don't know what they're going to do. They just drive it out. The other has an idea. Let's take a turn in one of these avenues upcoming. Perhaps it's a dead end. We could ditch them entirely. So they take the next left onto an avenue. They don't see it, but there is a rotary at the very end of it. One thing they do know is that this car, with high beams, pulls in and is still following them. After 5 turns, it's still following them. It's not pulling them over. It's just keeping those beams on the back. They're ready to pull over to say, what is your problem? Or what's going on? They just want to ditch him. They go and they find themselves a rotary at the end of the road, and it's surrounded by housings. One has an idea. We pull into the driveway into one of the housings here. Definitely ditch him that way, unless he's going to eventually stop us. So they go halfway around the rotary, pull into the driveway, and are they in the clear? The high beams right behind them, pulls in right behind them. Now they've had it. What did we do? The high beams come off. They turn off their lights. They see a dark figure approaching them. from the side. Comes up to the window. Friend of mine rolls down his window. Yeah? What are you guys doing here? This figure says. And of course, a friend of mine says, we were wondering why you were following us this whole time with your high beams on. The guy said, I live here. I was just driving home from work. Boom, boom. Of course, one of the other guys has to know the whole thing is, then why did you have your high beams on? The guy said, my right light was out and I didn't want to get pulled over. Plus, I was driving home safer that way. Big exhale for all of them. And the rest of the night, they finally found their way home, phew, with no more tailing. But you know something? Sometimes it is a cop following us. And I've been in situations where I've just been held down forever. Some people are nuts on how they speak with cops, though, as well, too. They think they can slide out of a situation just by handing them one line. So there are some stupid things, though, that you never say to a cop. Now, I've never said these things, but I've heard that some people have. Care for a little rendition of that? Here we go. What's the matter, officer? I didn't drink too much. Officer? Yeah, well, I didn't recognize you without your donut. Well, if I was speeding, you wouldn't have caught me. This wouldn't have to do with the corpse in my trunk now, would it? Yeah. Now, not all people are nuts, of course, and not everybody's going to say that to a cop. I try to be polite. Sometimes even a cop can be nuts every now and then. Not all of them. Once in a great while. In fact, I have a great deal of respect for cops, civil servants, and they keep us protected from the... Yes, officer. Excuse me one moment, I'm getting pulled over. I did what? Oh, I parked behind a hydrant. Oh, in front of one. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh. I'll get right on it, okay? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, excuse me, I have to move my car. I parked right in front of a fire hydrant there. Why? It's cheaper than a car wash.